Okay.
Go. Hello and welcome to Espresso with Saul. Hey, today we have Roy with us. Roy Harrell, everyone. Roy's got an idea for, well, basically being attacked by bears and or soda jugs today. So we thought we'd come out here and give him a hand with this and collab on a video. I appreciate that, Roy.
Yeah. So for our audience, we're going to try to find the perfect firearm, which we all know there isn't one, but the firearm that you have in your collection that'll work for you if and when you are attacked by soda jugs out in the wild. And the question we're going to try to prove is whether or not a small everyday carry 9x19 is better than a 10-inch barrel or 8 and whatever that is.
8 and 3 plus compensator.
Okay. 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum. We got a bunch of them in between there. We're going to go over here in a little bit and shoot soda jugs and see if we can hit them. And the second question is whether or not mag dumping with the less powerful firearm is more effective than a couple, 3 well-placed shots with a more powerful. Today I have in my Invader Concepts chest rig my Glock 40 with a 6-inch barrel with a 2-inch compensator, 10mm red dot type sight on top. It's just one of my more open sights. We're going to shoot 45 auto, we're going to shoot 357, we're going to shoot 44 mag, we're going to shoot 450 Marlin.
Well,
and you brought a whole bunch of toys too.
I got my 500. I'm going to shoot a Model 29. We're going to shoot an FK Burno. Got a 357 Magnum. And you know, because I always have them with me, Laugo Alien and the SIG P365. Hopefully it won't go shooting by itself today. Also, I have my 10mm 6-inch barrel. Yeah, 2011 is what it is. There we go.
So, what do you think is going to be the best gun as we go throughout the day? All right, welcome back. Before we get to shooting soda jugs, because any round of ammunition will work for soda jugs for the most part. Some are just more effective. We're going to talk a little bit about specifically for the task we're talking about, which is defense against heavy boned or bigger predators, not two-legged predators. Ammo types that you would want for that. And Saul has a great story to tell us as to why you want a certain type of ammo over another.
Well, let's see, I killed a bear last year. Neat thing was I shot it with my 7mm Magnum. I was actually deer hunting at the time. So the sidearm I had on me was actually my Laugo Alien. I had my 10mm here with me, but I had just had this pistol cut and had the red dot installed on it. I had intended on making sure this was sighted in. Hadn't gotten around to it, so instead of having this on my hip, I just threw the Laugo with me thinking I'm deer hunting, no big deal. I have my backup, everything's good.
And what are all Lagos 9x19?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I can't afford them, so I don't ever look at them.
Well, I carry 115 grain hollow points typically in mine. If I'm out in the woods, I'll have a couple magazines of Full Metal Jacket and a couple magazines of hollow points. And I believe I had the hollow points in at that particular time. So I shoot the bear. The bear goes tumbling down the hill and into the bushes and I can't see it. But I don't think it's dead. And I'm not going to go crawling around in the bushes until I can find out exactly where this injured bear is in order to put him out of his misery. I finally spot it. Okay, it's not up and moving, it's not going to run at me, so I take the Alien, I take the 9mm, and I go to doink one in his dome thinking, I don't know why I was thinking I could put one in its head, but I put 2 rounds into its head and it sat there looking at me. After that, I put one behind the shoulder and it was dead.
But he wasn't happy.
No,
Yeah.
no, that was not a happy bear. And honestly,
So you had light bullets and hollow points.
hollow points, 9mm, underpowered, and I mean, I'm not out there to injure these darn animals. I want to put them down as quickly as possible.
But they make 9mm loads that are hard cast, 147 grain.
Yeah.
Right,
I don't like 147 grain rounds
Right,
typically.
but the bullet choice for that day wasn't the right one for that task.
No. Then again, I wasn't bear hunting. I just happened to stumble upon one. So I think you should probably be a little bit over-prepared rather than under-prepared, especially when you're out where I'm hunting. If you don't have bears, don't worry about it. Maybe the P365 you have in your pocket's good enough.
So I've known people over the years to shoot dogs in the head for whatever reason, right? I mean, it's unfortunately a part of being a cop. And I know for a fact there was a time when 45 auto flattened on the skull of this certain breed of dog. I have known people that have had hogs that they were trying to butcher, and the traditional way for them was to put one through the head when it was trying, they slop the hogs and then you'd shoot one when it was in the tray. Except for that didn't work because they were going to shoot with a 22 and it was a hollow point. And then they ended up shooting it with a 30-40 Krag as it ran across a pasture somewhere after several different rounds. The point was it was a hollow point on a thick-boned animal.
Yep.
Hollow points probably are not, if you are carrying your sidearm for defense against big-boned critters, probably not the round you want.
Definitely
now,
not.
We're talking about you're not out hunting specifically. Now, if you're out hunting, that's a different story, okay? 10mm is a good round to handgun hunt with, your 500 Smith & Wesson.
The 9mm would be sufficient against a mountain lion.
But I wouldn't take it if I was hunting mountain lions.
No, exactly.
So I'm talking
exactly.
specifically
Yep.
about hunting.
Right.
And if you go out with your 450 Marlin, this is a Magnum Research in 450 Marlin with a 10-inch barrel, as your primary weapon, it's probably going to take care of anything you want. And for those that are in Alaska or other countries where there's a lot of bears around when you're fly fishing this time of year or whatever, or earlier, you probably want to make sure that the ammunition you have in your handgun for bear defense will take care of a bear. And most hollow points, even out of a 500, are not going to penetrate like they do or should for that big of an animal, especially for skull hits. We all know Underwood makes great hard cast rounds. Buffalo Boar makes great hard cast rounds. They're loaded hotter. They're designed to put 10mm holes, 500 Smith & Wesson caliber holes through those type of animals. Bust big bones, bust skulls, not necessarily expand, but they're going to get the penetration you need on that big animal. They're going to go through the bones you need. They're going to break them down and do the job of bear defense. That's what you're looking for.
You're just looking to stop the threat. And you need that penetrating punch in order to do that. Which is why, yes, we're not specifically saying bear today, but what I'm going to be testing today is bear loads. I have 305 grain bear load for my 44 Magnum. I've got a 440 grain bear load for my 500 here. I might even break out, I think I've got a box of 500 or 600 grain running around somewhere for this. I'm not sure if my wrist wants to deal with that today, but we'll see. I don't have anything fancy for my 10mm, but I think Full Metal Jacket ought to be fine. Close enough. It's not the hard cast stuff, but it ought to be good enough.
Well, it'd be great for soda jugs.
Oh, definitely.
The ammo I've selected is no particular brand. It is, but it's hot. It's some of the hottest ammo I can get my hands on or that I have in my stores. Because again, the purpose of our little experiment, as rudimentary as it is today, is to test whether or not you want to shoot a less recoiling firearm, or you want to spend a lot of money on a FK Burno or a Lago Alien because they're designed to have less recoil or less muzzle flip to get rounds on target quicker. is that going to make a difference, the rounds on target? If a difference, you know, is it going to make a difference whether I get 5 rounds of 10 millimeter downrange or 4 rounds of 10 millimeter downrange? What is the method you want to shoot and defend yourself with? Again, do you want to mag dump 15 rounds of 9 millimeter, or do you want to mag dump 6 rounds of 357 or 44 Magnum, or 15 rounds of 10 millimeter? So, getting back to the ammo, that's why I selected some of the hot stuff, just so I could get that felt recoil and it'd be a little bit slower. We don't want to...
yeah, we're not here trying to use 44 special in our 44 Magnums here, guys. We're actually going to come out here and use the heavyweight stuff.
Yeah.
The high recoil stuff.
That's what I was going to say. I didn't want to sandbag the test.
That's right.
By shooting 115 grain 9 millimeter that's target loads.
We wanted to give you a no BS test, so hopefully we won't just fall flat on our face. I think Roy brought me out here to make him look better, so hopefully I can do that for him.
Well, yeah, you're going to look better. So the test is going to be very rudimentary because I don't have the money for hydraulic systems and great big fake bear targets with balloons on to come racing at us. So don't laugh too hard when you see how we got this set up to do our little test. They are going to be moving targets, not real fast, and they're going to be moving sort of in our direction because we always have to keep safety in mind, make sure we got our proper backstop, all that. So all that's covered, so don't fry me on it. With all that, and our disclaimers.
Also, don't fry me on that. It's all his idea.
It is all my idea. It's all my setup. I'll take responsibility. What the hell? It's all, I always do anyway. With that, let us get our rudimentary thing set up. We'll describe what firearm we're using in that particular segment when we get there, and we'll see you back there.
We'll see you over there.
Have you been practicing on stationary targets before you go waste all your expensive ammo on moving targets? I hope so. And you should also practice your draws and stuff, like we're going to do right now. Hopefully I'm going to hit the head as our practice shots. Guess I'm dialed in. We're ready for the moving ones.
I brought my crayons for the drawing.
Okay. You're going to go draw tears on him?
You got it.
Kick it. Okay, we're going to shoot it with the Glock 40. Let's go. I waited until he cheated.
Okay.
That's fine.
I'm here with my FK Burno. Apparently, there's a wild soda jug on the rampage. Hopefully, it won't come right at me. Ah! Wild soda jugs on the rampage. Okay, I have my Smith & Wesson Model 29. Will I do any better than I did with the 500? No, I'll do worse.
50 Marlin, rolling soda jug, or tumbling. Hey. Luckily that bear slowed down.
Dan Wesson, 357 Magnum. Woohoo! Good thing it slowed down.
Glock 22, 40 Smith & Wesson. Let's go. Well, mag dumping's okay, but not the best.
Okay, this is my 2011 10 millimeter 6-inch barrel, Let's see if I can hit anything with it. This is my 2011. And there we go.
All right, now that we did some shooting, Saul, what'd you find out?
Well, good question. You know, we could say I did poorly because I had revolvers, large bore revolvers. Do I think that was the issue? You know, a longer double action trigger pull can make a difference for some people. Honestly, I think the biggest difference wasn't the fact that the ones that I did well with were autoloaders. I think the ones I did well with was because I've been practicing with red dots a lot more lately than I have been shooting iron sight pistols and or revolvers. So, you know, yeah, you could pick any one of these big bores if you've been practicing with them, but maybe something a little lighter for you might be the way to go, depending on what it is that you're doing.
Well, so what I found out is that, yes, that red dots and trigger systems and that all feeds into everything, because most of us aren't Paul that can just pick up any firearm and shoot it accurately.
Yep.
And that's because he just had thousands of hours and rounds doing that. I did a little bit better with the semi-auto. Well, and I only shot the single action revolver, and I did okay with it. So, you know, is mag dumping as effective? Probably not. And what I found out in my misses was I just wasn't using the sights. I was just shooting fast. And when you take a better split second or train to do so, I think you're going to have far better results in your first 5 or 6 rounds, no matter what you're shooting. But that means going out and training.
Let me interject on that point too. You know, one thing that I wasn't doing, because when I'm out hunting, I'm not reaching for my reading glasses, which honestly, when I'm target practicing with iron sight weapons of rifles or handguns, I wear these reading glasses because I can actually see the sights a little better. But I can't actually see the target that I'm shooting at better, but at least I can line them up properly. I didn't wear them at all for that either. Now, when I'm shooting red dot, I don't need the glasses.
Which is the joy of red dots for guys with eye problems.
Yeah.
And old eyes.
Yeah.
Which is why everybody in the world's going to a red dot on every platform. They can put them on revolvers, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
I don't wear these. If I'm hunting with a rifle, I don't wear these.
Nope.
Because you can't tell on camera, but I've sweated across them, it doesn't matter. They're filthy. And when you get sweat drops, then you don't know what's the target and what's the sights. And I can walk 5 feet and start sweating, especially out in the woods. So those are all things to know about yourself and then your entire system. Your glasses, your firearm, the sights or whatever optics on your firearm is an entire system, and that includes the ammo that you're using for that task. You have to get your system dialed in.
Yep.
And I think you brought up a great point, and that is that standing on the square range using your reading glasses is not the same as trying to hit any kind of target.
Right.
Whether it's a little pop bottle rolling down the road or some grizzly coming at you, it doesn't matter.
How well can you see your iron sights without your glasses on?
I can see them good enough, but not as good as if I have a red dot.
Oh yeah, yeah, exactly.
And down there, my glasses were all covered in sweat and everything, so it didn't really matter. So that's why you're point pulling and praying,
Right.
as Paul would put it. So what do we take from all this? Know your system. Don't do like Saul did, where I'm going to carry my 10mm and then it's not ready to go. So you end up with a different gun. Don't do like I've done, where you get out there and you have the wrong gun or the wrong ammo. Our little scenario today was that you're carrying a handgun into the woods somewhere for protection against major-sized predators, not two-legged predators. And whether or not mag dumping your revolver was good enough or mag dumping your 40 Smith & Wesson's good enough, and you are the one that has to figure that out. I think that if you have a good 10 millimeter with a good round, mag dumping it with, and with 15 rounds of whatever in the magazine. Mag dumping it is not a terrible philosophy, but it's not the philosophy, I'll tell you that. Paul was trained and would say, use your sights on every shot. You just have to have the balls to do it. And the training. And I've been through the gamut, folks, with police training. Well, it'll just flash sight the front sight. Paul went to 2 or 3 major places, major training academies for firearms.
Gun sight.
And both of those, all of them said, use your sights on every shot. I will tell you, I've done training with former SEALs who does thousands, hundreds of thousands of rounds, and not only do they use the safety on after they're done with a series, they use the sights. So find a sight system that works for you. Red dots are quick for those things.
Yep.
Right? Especially moving targets, etc. I like them because they work for my eyes. I don't have to have my glasses on. I take these off and all of a sudden it's not foggy out here today. With all that, find the right ammo and make sure it hits in your gun. Don't go out and practice with 100 grain practice ammo and then take 200 grain plus P rounds when you go hunting and have no idea where it's going. That goes for your rifles too, but especially in your handguns. What do you think caliber-wise, if you had to recommend a caliber out of your giant ones down to your 9x19, what do you think is probably a good caliber to go to the woods with, in our country especially?
Well, in our part of the world, honestly, you go out in the woods with the 10 millimeter or the 357 or the FK Burno, and you're going to be just fine, honestly. If you're up in Alaska, okay, I'm probably going to take the big boy. But that all depends on where I'm at in Alaska, too. And, yeah, I got speed loaders for it.
Well, that's not going to do you any good, but
hopefully it'll scare them.
The one thing we didn't test was not only how long to get the first shot off, but what we didn't test is drawing from the holster.
Right.
And the guise of that today was that you saw the bear, you knew the threat was there, and you had time to prepare, and then he starts charging at you or gets too close and you're forced to do something, defend yourself, etc. Okay. Keep in mind how you're carrying that. A lot of people like the chest rigs. Let me grab mine off let me grab this one right here. Hold on. A lot of people like the chest rigs, okay? And they're okay quick, and they're out of the way, and they're right here. They're not the fastest system. This one just has a snap, not the fastest. And if you're with your buddies, you can see the issue. Same thing in the good old days with shoulder holsters like this, right? And yes, you all go, well, yes, you flag Saul. That's the point I'm making. What do you want to say to close this out?
Well, I want to say thanks for the invite, Roy. Do appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, always.
And look, thanks for joining Espresso with Saul and Paul Harrell. And we'll see you out there in the field.
And I will close with this. Know your systems. Know your ammo. Know how to use all those things so you can defend yourself and your others. And you do that by going out, practicing, training, making your training and practice fun as much as possible. So you're always best prepared for the worst case situations.